Hey pilots, I'm Payne and this is another episode of How to Play. And today I'm gonna answer this very question, how to play XF4U6 Corsair. It's a new plane added to the game in event with sets of mission. I just finished them with some help of certificates to skip the grind part of the event. So first thing first, I want to say this plane is beautiful and have very rich history. I think almost over 12,000 these been built during their years. He participated in many wars, including the Korean War, where actually there's one interesting event that F4U Corsair shot down MiG-15. The MiG-15 pilot make mistake, get into the turn fight with Corsair, and he been shot down by 4 20mm cannons. Although I have to say that actually this F4U Corsair been shot down a minute later by 4 other MiGs. But look, pilot bail out and survive. That's the main thing. Anyway, get back to the game and let's go through the parameters first. We have 4 20mm cannons, cumulative damage 460, optimum distance 760 meters. And on the scale it's only 27, so it's look like not very powerful armament, but it's deceptive. It's actually very effective. This range and accuracy, somehow I just put all my shells on target and I can deal with light fighters. It's not like German FW190 where I'm just struggle to hit the good player in more maneuverable light fighter. So what else? You can see here, but you can check it out that on external website, Model 3D. So there's auto aim angle, and in this one here we have 2.5 degrees, which is pretty standard for American multi-Eurofighter, but it's not for every multi-Eurofighter. Like for example, German FW190 have only 2 degrees auto aim angle on his 30mm cannons, and that can make a difference. What else? What else you can see here in a game is that dispersion angle is 0.6 degrees, which is pretty standard also for American multi-Eurofighter, and overheat time of those cannons is 6 seconds, so it's pretty good. I also noticed that those cannons set up on fire quite often, and this is very useful in battles against aerial target and the ground target, of course. Speaking of ground targets, now we can move to the rockets, and we have 10 5-inch MK25 rockets. Each of these can do 1500 damage to ground target, and resupply time is 120 seconds. Optimum distance of those rockets is 1160 meters. These 10 rockets are very important part of armament of this plane. They give us a lot of capabilities which other multi-Eurofighters don't have, and I'm going to show you them later on in the video. Now, survivability. Well, the only multi-Eurofighter on tier 7 which have more HP is P47N, and other have less. So we have base 400 HP, which is very good, and resistant to damage 55 and resistant to fire 60. That sounds also very good. Now let's move to speed, and between the tier 7 multi-Eurofighter we have one of the best speed. We don't need much improvement in this area, but of course, like, it's never enough speed for multi-Eurofighter. We have also 15 seconds of boost and maximum dive speed 850 km per hour. Now let's talk about most important parameter, which is maneuverability. We have 11.4 average turn time, and that's the base, and this is actually the same as in a Tech Tree Hawker Typhoon and another F4U Corsair in American Tech Tree. So basically we have the main difference between F4U Corsair in American Tech Tree and this new one Premium is that we have more and better rockets. But other than that, they are almost two identical planes. Now, the multi-Eurofighter which have better maneuverability than our Corsair is definitely Yak-9U. It's a Russian multi-Eurofighter which is more maneuverable. We don't want to go head-on with this as well because he have too much firepower, and basically we just can use some surprise attack against it. Either way, we shouldn't engage into a fight with good player in Yak-9U because that's not going to end up well for us. Now we can use our maneuverability against planes like J4M, both of FW190 and P47N. Basically, if we see those planes, we can go into turn fight and we should be able to win easily because we have superior maneuverability. Now, altitude performance. Well, we have 1300 meters optimum and service ceiling 3300 meters and rate of climb of 115 meters per second, which is pretty standard for multi-Eurofighters. Nothing exciting in this area. Now, how to play XF4U Corsair? basically the same as F4U Courtier, which is in a tech tree. And before I get this lovely machine into my hangar, I was flying a lot in this tech tree plane, which is almost identical as I mentioned, just to get more experience. So basically, typical role of multi-Eurofighter, which is capturing sectors. Sometimes we need to also defend the sectors, but not always we can do it. And there's a lot of light fighters, which are high altitude and fast light fighters, and also more maneuverable than our multi-Eurofighter, and that's create a problem. Basically, we don't have much options against that kind of targets, and we have to be aware of that. So now I just captured a sector, as you see, and I see on minimap there are 2 light fighters incoming. So I'm fleeing this sector. I'm going to the rest point and I'm going to ask my team for help. I just can't fight with Key 94 in this case, yeah. And I see he's coming after me, but I ask my teammates to help, and I'm fleeing the sector. Definitely, I don't want to be killed in a sector, yeah. And I keep looking on him. Now I see he's busy in some other dogfight, and that's my opportunity. That's my chance. That's my dogfight. There is no other way to defeat him. Only surprise attack when he's busy with someone else. That's the best solution. There are many planes which we can't really fight on equal terms. Let's say, yeah. I get him this time, yeah. So it's very easy to put yourself into the bad position where you can't get away. Like in this example here, I'm flying into the airfield and I'm trying to engage Key 94 again, the same player, different game. But I don't have a boost, as you see now. Yeah, I don't have extra engine cooling in this machine because that's not specialized, and I have no boost, so basically zero chance to escape from this situation. So I was probably hoping that I'm gonna one pass him. I kill him at one pass, but that didn't work out, and that's it. That's game over. So basically, XF4U Corsair is the same as Tech Tree in terms of dogfighting other planes. We have to be very careful. We have to pick up our targets correctly. Like you need to be aware who is more maneuverable, who is faster, who is slower, and so on and so on. You need to all know this, because without this knowledge, you're gonna put yourself into that kind of situation as I show you. Now, defending sector is also very important for multi-Eurofighters, but we rather should focus on capturing sector. But in this case here, you see me defending basically sector against this P-47N. I know he's less maneuverable, so it's pretty easy. I can easily go into dogfight with him. But if that would be BF-109G or E-220, that kind of plane, then I would have to have my boost ready to use, like, you know, to disengage if something's not gonna work out. And that's what makes this plane and other multi-Eurofighters so difficult to play. You need to keep thinking about that stuff. And many players forget that we have rockets, and those rockets can be used not only against the ground target, but also against aerial target, like here, another P-47 takedown with rockets. And they are very effective in these head-on engagements. We can fire those rockets and kill the enemy which have more HP. And if, like in here, the light fighter want to go head-on, then we go on head-on with light fighter because we have more HP. In most of the cases, we have more firepower, and that's the result of it. Another P-47, but this time we don't have rockets, so we don't even have full HP. So we avoid him, and we're trying to get in turn fight with him. He's in a dive, or he crashed intentionally or not, or maybe he was trying to crash trap me or something like that, I don't know, but win is a win. And that's BF-109G, by the way, but that's a bot, so I can easily go into turn fight with bots. But if that would be player, in most of the cases, one-on-one, I'm dead. That's why we have to keep looking on minimap, and we don't want to be caught with our pants down against such a high altitude fast light fighters, because we don't have much options. We can't do much about them. They simply have too much of advantage in a dogfight. And remember, when you're flying at high altitude, as I'm in here, you put yourself into bad position, like you're a very easy target, because you lose your maneuverability at this altitude, and speed is dropping dramatically also. So because that's not your best altitude, unfortunately it's only 1,300 meters, but we have to stick to this, and we rather should force enemy to go down to our altitude than chasing enemy on high altitude, because that's pretty often gonna end up badly. And what kind of battle I'm gonna show you, I was thinking about that, and that's not gonna be 5 chevron battle or some ace or some stuff like this. I'm gonna show you battles in this episode, but up against tier 8 planes, many players, kind of difficult stuff. You may run into it at weekends, and specifically when you fly in tier 7, which is often drop into tier 8 battles. But first, what's good about this plane? If that's not a good dogfighter, then what's so good about it? And it's those 10 rockets. Those 10 rockets allowed this plane to take over any sector you like on a map, yeah, any sector, rocket base, command center, and even factory. And that's what I'm gonna show you now. That's the main advantage of this plane. It's not a dogfight, but it's the ability to take over any sector by your own. And thanks to this, you can win many battles and be very effective. Okay, so here we go with example. This is the factory which has been taken over by bombers. I'm waiting for this sector to be unlocked, and I'm just getting myself ready. So I start first from 50 points targets and then main building, and I'm gonna make it a circle around those targets. So I have to use my cannons extensively here, yeah? This is very important. We keep firing those cannons. When they get overheat, then we stop and we change the target. And when they cool down, we keep firing again. And then we fire rockets also at those targets. But be careful with those rockets. Don't waste them on the same section of the target. And just keep firing like I'm doing here. And you see a lot of these targets been set up on fire. Then if any part of this target is set up on fire, then I'm stop firing at, yeah. Then I don't waste time for it. I see here now that's on fire, so I leave it, and I move to another target, yeah, to finish off this 50 points. Another 50 points here. You see this is on fire on left, so I left it and I firing another one, and that's how I do it. I still have 2 rockets for those hard points of this main building, and I have 30 seconds before the factory will actually reload, so that does look good, and that's how I do it. Basically, I don't use any premium consumable here. I don't have any ammunition or anything to increase damage of those rockets. I do have aerodynamic pylons, and I think there is a bonus characteristic, 5% more damage. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, there you go. You see, yeah, plus 5% damage inflicted by rockets. So that's what I have extra here, but that's it. And on a pilot is only demolition expert, and that's it. So that's how we do it, and we have a factory. Now I'm gonna move to another example in a battle actually. And basically I'm chasing down here this heavy fighter, which is chasing our ground attacker. So basically he's trying to defend the factory and I chase him down. And if I kill him over the factory, that's extra 60 capture points, yeah? And that's the kind of opportunity we need to use. Not much time left to take over that factory, less than 50 seconds, so I engage into this main building with rockets. And of course, if you guys have Mary Lovenheart, then you can do it like twice faster. And this is premium plane, you can always put your special pilot into it if you want to fly this tier 7 multi-role and use those skills. And that kind of stuff like taking over the factory is going to be twice faster because you cause twice more damage, yeah? So keep that in mind. If you have Mary Lovenheart, this plane is much easier to fly basically. And I'm supposed to actually now attack this 30 points target on my left, but instead I keep going with this 50 points, which is not finished, and because of that this factory will reload that 80 capture points now. But anyway, the point is that this plane is capable of doing such a job, like taking over factory and the rocket base and anything, and that's a huge advantage. We're not maybe good in dogfights, but we are very good in capturing sectors, thanks to those rockets. And as I mentioned, don't be afraid to use those rockets against the aerial targets, because unless you have some important sector to capture, then if you don't, then just go ahead, fire them, and they're very effective, as you can see. And it's not so difficult as it may seems to look like. It's not actually that difficult. Like I would recommend like half of the rockets for one aerial target, and you have very good chance to hit this target. But it all depends on the situation. If you need the rockets for some sector, then you may keep them, but if you don't, then you can use them freely, like in this case, to take out such a ground attacker. Like, you don't even hit this target directly, just explosion of this rocket will do the job. Before I go to the full battle, I'm going to show you my build. It's a mixed build for maneuverability and speed. I believe that's the best for this plane, but let's start with the first slot. It's Culminator sight, which is pretty standard, and I use extra bonus for inflicting critical damage and increase the fire, as you see, very useful. Second slot, experimental lightweight wing, could be standard, doesn't have to be experimental, also do the job. And on third slot I have engine boost mixture injection to increase the speed basically. And this is unusual for me, but aerodynamic pylons, which reduce the impact of outboard rockets and bombs on the aircraft speed. So basically I get more speed thanks to this, but I increase the bomb and the rocket's reload. For pilot skills, pretty standard as well. For first, I would say aerobatic expert, then second is aerodynamic expert, and then resilience. It's going to be my favorite. It's very useful, specifically for this plane. And then the demolition expert, also very useful. If you have more skills available, then I would say engine guru 1 and 2 to increase the speed. Maybe a cruise flight also is a good option. And there's another interesting skill. It's called battle tested. It's also very useful if you want to try that. That can be very helpful. But other than that, I wouldn't invest anything into the marksman skill 1 or 2. That's not very important for this plane, because we already have this culminator sight, and we do not have equipment for guns, so we not increased firepower or anything that could cause increase the dispersion or some problem with accuracy. So we don't have that. That's why we're not gonna go for marksman 1 and 2. So why I choose the mix build for maneuverability and speed? It's simple, because this plane needs both of this. It's not that he is in desperate need only speed. He also needs maneuverability. So basically, if I change this light wing for polished skin, I'm not getting much of the speed, and I need top speed to be increased mostly, not only cruise speed. Cruise speed is not so important when I'm trying to escape from some light fighter. Yeah, I need a boost, I need the top speed, and that's what I get. If I put the polished skin calibrated, I get 62 km per hour more of cruise speed and only 10 km per hour of top speed. And the problem here is that I'm gonna pay a huge price for this, and this price is literally 1 second longer of average turn time. We had 10.6 average turn time, and now I have 11.6 average turn time, and this is just, the price is too high for this speed, and that's why I prefer to have this mix build for maneuverability and speed. Now, if I change my aerodynamic pylons to hardpoints, then I get like 37 km per hour less of top speed, which is significant to me. I have the problem with that because I really need the speed for this plane to be able to escape from many light fighters, which I cannot fight. So I prefer to have that speed. Plus, of course, I travel between the sector faster, and I use also my cannons to take over that sector, not only rockets. So that's why I prefer to have this aerodynamic pylons, not hardpoints. Even though with hardpoints, we decreased the reload speed significantly. Like now I have 132 seconds of resupply time. Yeah, but if I change that, that's gonna be big difference. 93 seconds, which is great. And this is not calibrated. I just swap not calibrated pylons for not calibrated hardpoints. Basically, that could be even lower than 93 seconds, which would be great. But then, of course, the speed would be reduced again, even forward, yeah, below 700 km per hour. And this is not good for that plane. We really need that speed and maneuverability, not only maneuverability or not only speed. Now it's time for the full battle, and it's not going to be easy battle. It's 5 players against 5 players in busy time of the weekend, and basically enemy have 3 specialized tier 8 and 1 specialized tier 7 and 1 not specialized. But this is very difficult battle. Dirty Magic, that's player, is actually disconnected now, but he's gonna be back in a moment. And in my team I have specialized B29C, specialized XP67. B29C would be a good factor in the battle, but if we would have factories here. But this map is only with 3 garrison and 2 airbase, and B29C is not so significant here. Can be outcapped easily here. I don't think there is need for me to comment this battle, so I'm gonna play some music. But as I mentioned in the beginning, Like, take a look on this plane. It's just beautiful. Like, this plane is great. Look awesome. Anyway, guys, I'll be right back after battle.
Yeah. Yeah, he's find me. Shit. Four on me. I didn't six. Oh,
Okay guys, I'm back, and as you see, this battle is very intense. A lot of work here, a lot of dogfights, and these opponents here, they are very good players also. They're not beginners, so that's why this battle was pretty difficult, and they of course in tier 8, so
yeah. Now they
that's how the game's gonna look for you at the weekend in this plane. So basically you'll be thrown into the battles up against tier 8. Now P82B going head on, so we have to avoid that, as you see. And now I get him because P82B is one of these heavy fighter on tier 8, which is not very fast, around 700 km/h top speed. And now he's trying to bomb me, which is a great idea, but I'm doing that myself quite often, so I know what he's doing. That's why I pull up, and that's it, I finish off him. Um, and Spitfire, but the battle is just finished now, and we have final results. So it's a win up against tier 8, a very intense battle, second place 3 Chevron, but I wanted to show you this battle because that's how the battle is gonna look for you in this plane. It's not gonna be nice and creamy, easy peasy, 20 kills ace or whatever. It's not gonna be always up against tier 7. Okay, we came to the end of the video, and to sum up, this is a very good plane, but it's more difficult than anything else I said about other planes, like typical multi-row fighter, but even more, because we really need to pay attention to the minimap and everything what's going on, because we don't have that much speed. There's a lot of light fighters which are much faster, much more maneuverable, and we are easy prey for them, so we have to be very aware of these. And quite often you have to plan in advance where you have to be in quite some time. Like you see, you have to analyze the map during the battle, you see which sector is going to fall and where you should be positioning yourself to recapture the given sector in the best possible way. Yeah, so it's very difficult, but it's absolutely very effective plane in good hands. Okay guys, that's it in this video. I hope you liked it, found it useful, and if so, please leave me a like and subscribe for future content. And guys, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one. Take care.